Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about a blockbuster NFL trade rumor that involves the Cleveland Browns. And then we're going to look and see what Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated has to say about the Browns quarterback battle. But almost 2 weeks ago, I announced on the channel that my time at Chat Sports would be ending on Friday, May 23rd. And we are past that date, and you're watching this video right now. So let me explain a little bit as to what is going on. I met with my bosses over last weekend, and they proposed, hey, is there a possibility that when you come back from your wedding and your honeymoon in the middle of June, you would be willing to do some at-home style videos for us for about a month into mid-July while we search for your replacement? And it seemed like a good option for all parties involved, right? I'm happy to continue to make content for you guys. I thought you guys might like to have some more content over the summer, and it helps out Chat Sports while they look for the next host of this channel. So I'm still leaving, but just not quite as cut and dry as I thought it would be like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So when I come back from my honeymoon, you're going to see me do some videos from my kitchen for 4 or 5 times a week for about a month until they find a full-time replacement. So that's the latest on the channel side of things. Now let's talk about the trade rumor involving the Cleveland Browns. Chris Olave, former Ohio State Buckeye, first-round pick by the Saints just 3 years ago now, was involved or in the mix of some trade conversations. As Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated pointed out, the Saints got inquiries from the Browns and Steelers early in the offseason and rebuffed them. And Olave's had a really nice offseason since. Maybe someone blows New Orleans away with an offer. I know I joke about this whenever I talk about trades, and I filmed another video about some trade targets for Cleveland, so I could have included Olave for that, but it's not a joke. Andrew Berry is a full-blown addict when it comes to trading for wide receivers. He's done it numerous times. Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy. And with the Steelers likely no longer in the running for Olave since they traded for DK Metcalf. So to me, this signals that the Steelers and Browns kicked the tires on Olave a long time ago, probably right at the start of free agency in March. New Orleans said no. Pittsburgh pivoted to Metcalf in Seattle. But the Browns didn't go after a different wide receiver. And I'm getting slight deja vu for when the Browns traded for Jerry Jeudy, because that was someone that they had done homework on 12 months plus beforehand and were told no by Denver and didn't give up. And eventually they got a trade done. So I'm not going to eliminate Olave coming to Cleveland sometime down the road. The Browns have interest now. I don't think they're going to lose that interest. The guy had 1,000-yard seasons to open up his career. Unfortunately, he's had some injuries. He's had a scary concussion which cost him to miss a lot of time in 2024. But when he's on the field and when he's healthy, you can see what a productive wide receiver he is. And the Browns wide receiver room is a little bit on the underwhelming side. Like Jeudy was 5th in receiving yards last year. Said had a really good stretch before his concussion. Mike Woods, I think in his career has 100 yards and 8 grabs, and he's your number 3 option. You could toss Deontay Johnson in there, but I have zero faith in Deontay Johnson actually staying on this team for all of 2025. He was on not 1 but 2 playoff rosters last year and managed to get released and forced his way out of them both times. So zero confidence in Johnson sticking in Cleveland for very long. I would love to see Olave traded to the Browns. One, it's going to, scratch that itch for Buckeye fans who would love to see some of their favorite players from Saturday play in Cleveland on Sunday. And on top of that, he's just an outstanding wide receiver. I remember going into that 2022 draft, and it was like Olave or Wilson, Olave or Wilson. Turns out you couldn't go wrong with either one. I mean, one might have a slightly better career than the other when it's all said and done, but both are going to have really strong careers. And with Olave just going into the 4th year of his NFL career, you get him and Jerry Jeudy as your number 1 and number 2 receiver duo for the next, let's just be conservative here, for the next 4 years, right? You got Jeudy going into the first year of that 3-year extension. You could pick up Olave's 5th-year option. You could give him a 2 to 3 year extension. Like, you could conservatively say at least 3 if you got Olave today, right? Judy has 3 years left on his deal. That would be an awesome duo for whoever quarterbacks this team. Let that quarterback step into a place where there are some pieces around them so we can know if they're going to be any good or not when they've got talent to throw to. So I want to hear from you. Would you trade for Chris Olave? Give me a Y for yes. Give me an N for no down in the comment section. I'm in. I mean, every man's got a price. I'm not looking to break the piggy bank for this, but for a fair price for both sides, the Saints are definitely in a rebuild. If they don't know it, someone should tell them. Their starting quarterback is Tyler Shuck right now, and that's not going to end well for them. Their roster is aging. Some of their best players are on the wrong side of 30. I would understand why New Orleans wouldn't want to trade Olave. He's really good. You don't trade good players away mostly, right? Mostly. Except for when you're likely going into a rebuild. And I think that for the right offer, it could be a win-win-win for all parties. All right, next up on the show, I want to talk about what Albert Breer had to say on the Browns quarterback battle and who he expects to see start week 1 and, more importantly, start majority of the games for the Browns. Here's what he said. My gut tells me that it'll be Joe Flacco because he's the one brought in there specifically to start. I agree with Breer. I am picking Flacco to start week 1. The last couple of days, even like a week at this point, there's been a lot of buzz of, hey, Kenny Pickett's kind of the starter for OTAs. Don't sleep on these 2 rookies. Got to look at it through Kevin Stefanski's lens. It's May. Does he really need to push Joe Flacco to the max right now and go full throttle on him? No. He should go full throttle more on Pickett and the 2 rookies, see what he's got in those 3 younger quarterbacks. If he learns that none of those 3 guys are ready to be a week 1 starter and what's best for the other 21 starters on that team and the 52 other guys in that locker room, then you go with Joe Flacco. But I don't hate the idea of, during spring, maybe even into training camp for a little bit. Push the other guys, the younger ones, a little bit more. And if they push back and it's like, hey, they just don't look like they're ready to be NFL starters, well, we got old, reliable 40-man-year-old Joe Flacco, who showed us that he can come off his couch and start slinging the rock and taking us to the playoffs. So I think given the circumstances of not coming off your couch, being with the team from April, he'll be just fine if he's not the first guy in line during May OTA sessions. Now, the Browns, with Joe Flacco or any of these 4 quarterbacks, as long as it's not Deshaun Watson starting week 1, they are going to join the Denver Broncos and the Washington Commanders as the only teams to have 8 unique starting quarterbacks the past 10 seasons. That's some good trivia right there for you. And if you know me, you know I like my trivia. So, not fun company to be in right here. No team has just 1 for what it's worth. A lot of teams have 2. But no matter who the Browns trot out there against Joe Burrow and the Bengals at Huntington Bank Field, we're going to see a new week 1 starter for the 8th time in the last 10 years. Not really fun. Yeah. Well, I guess it would be the 8th time in the last 11 years once you include 2025. So, the question that I'm kind of wrestling with here, and I'd love for someone to answer it for me. Kevin, if you're watching, you please answer. Or Andrew. Either one works. Does it have to be, not when it comes to starting Flacco or Pickett, does it have to be one or the other for the 53-man roster? Like, my brain tells me yes. Only one of these 2 guys can make the 53-man roster, right? You're not going to take 4 quarterbacks. Most teams don't even take 3 quarterbacks anymore. Most teams roll with 2 on the 53-man roster. You're not cutting Dylan Gabriel your 3rd-round pick. I really doubt you cut Shedeur Sanders. So, if those 2 guys, kind of regardless of their performance, are locked in, then the only option available is it has to be Pickett or Flacco. But here's the situation that I don't know the answer to. What if Flacco proves to be the best option for week 1, but Pickett's the 2nd best option on the team? It's like, hey, Pickett looked good, but Flacco's definitely better. Are you really that motivated to just move on from Pickett because he wasn't, in August, the best quarterback? Do you want to give up on him that quickly? You traded a player and a fifth for him, and he doesn't make your 53-man roster because you're maxing out at one veteran quarterback? Like, I always thought they would take 2 veteran quarterbacks and 1 rookie. But when you do 2 of each, now you've got a really crowded quarterback room. And we haven't even brought Deshaun Watson into the mix. So I don't know how the Browns answer this problem. It's not a bad problem to have if you're like, we have too many good quarterbacks, which I wouldn't say too many great quarterbacks. That's a stretch, but too many like non-cuttable quarterbacks. That is something that I'm fascinated to see play out. It would make the most sense to just cut bait with the loser between Flacco and Pickett. But what if the loser's not bad? It's just not as good as the other guy. Is that really how short of a lifespan they get on your roster? Oh, you were second. You're gone. Sometimes that would make sense. The Browns really need to move on from good quarterbacks that just weren't ready to start week 1. They're searching for a long-term piece. They're probably not in that position to be so picky. So this is a question that keeps me up at night. Before we sign off, if you would like to get a Shedeur Sanders jersey, a Mason Graham jersey, a Quinshon Judkins jersey, use this link, chatsports.com/CLE rookies. I put that link in the comments and description of today's video. Now, let's pick a card to wrap up today's episode. Getting towards the end, the card picking. Reed, which card are you thinking?
Can I go with 7 of hearts?
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to go with 5 of clubs. 5 of clubs! Let's go! That feels so... 5 of fucking clubs, baby. Let's go! Yes! It felt good coming out of my mouth, too. That's what she said. Let's go! Wow. It's not the final card pick. I think we're going to do one more. Full transparency, like the schedule for the videos is a bit of a clusterfuck because I want to get you guys as much content before I walk out of the studios Friday afternoon. So that means like filming videos that will go out like 3 to 4 days later, which will be kind of confusing for the timeline because I'm speaking right now. I'm filming this on Thursday, but I'm pushing it out later so I can give you guys as much videos as possible. But that's not my last card pick, but that feels good.
For the loyal subscribers that watch every video, he's gotten like 3 out of the past in the past couple weeks.
I've gotten 2 in the last like 2 weeks. Yeah.
This is nuts. The universe.
Thank you guys. I'll see everyone later.